One of the greatest limiting beliefs of my childhood, that it wasn't safe to be seen or heard, actually turned into one of the most beneficial things for my clients. So there are two people that I worked with back in 2010, and they were writing articles, and a lot of our focus was on creating a branded voice. So, creating certain terms that could be recognized and implemented within their industries to become standard language that everyone understood. What surprises me is that fast forward 7 years, and both of these people that I worked with on all of this branding their voices, um, they both have been offered seven-figure contracts to license their brands that are extremely distinct and clear. I also love seeing things like clients who are able to take their potential, to let loose of what they think is possible, the limits that are placed on them from their family, their community, from society, and instead they just do what needs to be done. My dear friend and chef and client Tomas, he got his documentary picked up to go into the potential of 1 billion homes. He was picked up by one of the largest organizations out there to spread the word of his documentary. How fantastic. And at the same time, while it's amazing to work with these influential people throughout the world, I I often don't get starstruck. I don't have that same reaction that other people do in certain situations. And a lot of that is because I was raised as a Ritz. I'm Steph Ritz. And with that came certain obligation, and it also came with responsibility, and it's something that my clients have come to love about me, that I do have a very high quality level of standards that I uphold, both in how I show up as well as in what they deliver. And so they come to me for that Ritz, for a luxury that is just completely comfortable. And what's really cool to see is that while I avoided getting my own branding for a really long time, when I did reach out to a hand-picked group of my tribe to help with my branding, what did they choose? But Ritz Library and Ritz Books and Ritz Branding. And they want to have Ritz. You guys want to have Ritz, and I'm willing to give you all of the quality that I know lies within you. So, what I ask always is for you to set aside the limiting beliefs that you've had to face to stand up and do what you had to do. I remember volunteering at an event, and um, the morning of the event, the personal assistant of one of the two coaches leading this enrollment event, the personal assistant quit day of the event. And while I was volunteering for the event, what I ended up doing was a heck of a lot more than I had initially planned. And I remember after the first day and getting through some pretty intense moments, and I just knew what to do. I'd been in events my entire life. I'd run tables and booths and asked for signatures, and this was just my normal. But the person who was my coach that I was there supporting had never seen this side of me. And I remember how dumbfounded they were with how skilled I was in an area that they had no clue that I was competent in. And it really woke me up to y- how little I claim for myself, and how that's a huge way in which I was raised. Because in my family, when you have someone who has abuse, you learn to do everything that you can not to trigger their abusive nature, which meant for me not to be seen or heard, and to become hypersensitive to all of the emotions in others. And it's really allowed me to be a better coach, to see what's coming across for you, to see what's coming up. One of the funniest moments of being with a client, which I had no clue that this was coming up, but we went out to dinner and it was like a surprise enrollment referral conversation. I was doing a deep dive with a client, and we met up with one of his friends, and there were it felt like I was in an interview. There was just question after question being asked of me, and instead of me just giving an answer, I told somewhere between 30-second and 2-minute stories to answer those questions. And I remember that moment when he was sitting there with a hamburger in his hands and his jaw hanging open, that he couldn't take the bite of the burger because he couldn't close his jaw, because he couldn't believe what was transpiring in front of his face, which was the concept of stories that sell. So from that time on, he's been calling me his pocket Yoda, because at any point he can whip out his phone and dial Yoda and figure out exactly what he needs or how to position something in order to answer it in an authentic, clear way that demonstrates your expertise, that's in a very showing manner instead of a telling manner. Hi, I'm Steph Ritz. This is day 5 of our 10-day storytelling challenge. I can't wait to watch your videos tomorrow. Cheers.